Oh, there we go. Okay, hey, this is Jason Enos again. I might need to adjust the camera because I got this awesome J.J. Abrams effect lens flare. Let's see if I can cut that. No, it's still going on. All right, whoops. Yeah, it's still kind of, man, it's a real bad spotlight. It's like I'm on the bridge of the Enterprise and I'm trying to cut it out. Man, it is really bad. All right, well, anyway, I'm getting ready for Heroes Con, and I really haven't done any kind of video recently, which has kind of made me really kind of upset. I've been wanting to do a video for a while, but I really haven't had any projects I could do it on. I was working on the last parts of Trixie. I'm trying to see if I can still kill that. Working on the last parts of Trixie, issue 3. That's finally now wrapped, but I really couldn't show anything from that because it's really kind of like at the point where pages would be spoilerific. So couldn't share anything from that. But and I'm also doing a website design. I'm gonna work on that a lot tonight because I'm a little bit behind on where I want to be on that. Graphic design, logo and banner and stuff. But I've been prepping for Heroes Con this last week. I'm not presenting anything, of course. I'm just going as a fan slash, walking on tables with my portfolio, excuse me. And I just had to get ready for it. Went to this awesome, I'm in South Carolina, and there's this awesome art supply store called Suburban Paint. And I've been going there for 15 years, even before I did comic book art, and I've been getting all my art supplies, which, incidentally, there's some paintings around here that probably use supplies from from Suburban Paint. This is my messy game room where I put my Xbox and stuff, and it's also got my dorky Lego trophies of, you probably can see a couple stuff back there, like my Slave 1, my X-Wing. But anyway, and the first dollar, if you see back there, the first dollar, if I can point to it just right, there you go. The first dollar I got from when I cashed the first checks from Trixie. Yeah, I put that up there. I'm a dork like that, so that's the first dollar I got for doing Trixie Dynamite, my first dollar in comics. But anyway, last year I was kind of really unprepared for Heroes Con. I basically didn't know what to do. I just dropped my portal turret. But anyway, I didn't know what to do. This is my portfolio for Heroes Con. Not the best, especially since I had to do print-ups of Trixie. Well, first of all, this issue of Trixie was done digitally, so all I had was print-ups, and I can only do pages this size because, one, my book is only this size, and two, I didn't have a printer that big last year. This year I've got a big printer, but I still do everything digitally. Do everything on this size. This is a page I inked as a sample of Mike Deodato's Spider-Man, and again, not the best paper. It's small. It's too small format. Let me tip the camera up so you guys can see what I'm showing you. A sample Batgirl page I did. This is all 8.5 by 11, and this is a printout I did of the Megan Fox piece I did, etc. So I have all these printouts that are just, they're not really the right size. They're barely comic book size, but that's not a good portfolio. Well, anyway, before I put this book away, I did want to show last year what I got at Heroes Con, an awesome Adam Hughes Catwoman head sketch that he did, and a great Marcia Takara sketch that he signed. It's a print, but he signed it. And then, of course, last year I also met Jonathan Glapion. I have a Batman Zero that he signed, which was awesome. So anyway, going to this year's Heroes Con. Now that I've showed you my swag from last year, going to this year's Heroes Con, I want to be better prepared. First of all, I didn't show this to anybody because when I was going to show it to Jonathan Glapion. Not that I think my stuff's good enough to necessarily, but when I got to his table, I realized he'd inked Batgirl. And I was like, I'm not showing you a page you already did, because that's like, it's really kind of like, usually what they say is, if you want to work for CSI, you write for NCIS. If you want to work for a special, this way it works in TV. And I think it works to a certain degree in comic books too. If you want to work for, say, 24, you write for Alias. I know both those shows. I know Alias is off the air now, but you know what I mean. You write for the show that's like the show you want to write for without being the show you want to write for. Because some people get very sensitive about their own property, that they get really offended to see someone else write their stuff until they trust you to write their stuff. And so you don't do that. So in other words, if you want to write for the Punisher, you would write for Batman, or you'd write a Rorschach piece. Something that's similar in vein but not the character, because for some reason they get really offended when you present their stuff. So here I am walking up to Jonathan Glapion with a few pages of samples I've got, and one of them is Batgirl that he inked. So it's like, hey, let me show you a page that I did that I kind of did okay with, that you did way better than I did. So it just didn't seem to be a good idea. So I did my research, talked to a couple of my friends that are also comic book artists. They've gone to conventions, they presented portfolio people, and then what they suggested was I get this. It was actually Brandon who suggested this. I'm glad he did. I got this from Suburban Paint today, which is my portfolio book. It is amazing. I thought it would zip closed. I'm kind of sad it doesn't, but I'm not like super upset that it doesn't. It's not the end of the world. But it's 11 by 17. And the cool thing is, and this is something I really didn't count on, she told me about it when I ordered it. Well, I didn't order it. She ordered it, and she had like 8. It has a spine that you can put stuff in. I'm going to design some kind of art for it. I haven't thought of what yet. But, it's a good opportunity to have, like, Enos on the side or something, something really cool. I thought about doing something from Alice in Zombieland. I don't want to do anything character-based, licensed character-based. I don't want to do Batman or Catwoman or, something on the spine that would be licensed where someone would say, hey, wait, you're using my licensed character to advertise your stuff. So I don't want to do that. So I'm trying to think of something generic. And the only thing more generic than generic would be, one of your own characters. So I might do Allison on the spine here, or some kind of fancy text or something, just so it serves it. And all the stickers on it. I peeled all the stickers off, of course, so it's a nice, clean black map. But here it is. Ta-da! And then, of course, it looks wonderful because there's, here's the page I did, the Arden page I did on YouTube. And then, this is the Spider-Man piece I was telling you about, the digital one. I printed it full size a couple minutes ago. So now I've got that as a full-size printout rather than just a digital, rather than a small 8.5 by 11. And then I printed another page of Trixie. This is one of the pages from Trixie 1 that was done all digitally. So I printed it up as a physical copy. And then I got all the pages for Trixie. I did them sequentially. I know they say, with portfolios, they say you're supposed to put your best pages first. And I didn't, because I have so many pages of Trixie. I was just like, let me just start with my 3 best and then let people flip through the rest of them if they're interested. There are some really good pages for some pages in Trixie. Some are good, better than others. This is the new issue 3 that's just being worked on, that I just finished up. These are the early pages of Trixie issue 3, story 2 that I did. So I did 2 stories. So there's issues 2, 3, stories 1 and 2. So I got 3 stories in there. Plus, in the back, I have page 1 from issue 4 that I did on YouTube. So there's that guy back there. And then the pages are pretty good. They actually stick pretty well because, there's my Megan Fox, my Lynn Stanley piece that I did, also on YouTube. So you got to see some of these pieces. So it's really nice that you get to see, the pages. It looks really professional. And like I said, they stay pretty well with the paper that's in there. I think it's archival safe. It better be anyway, because I don't want it to yellow. Then in the back, I've got just random stuff. My development pieces for Alice in Zombieland, the pencil, and I put this in the back so A, it would be safe. B, most people won't see it. And C, if they do care to see it, you can say, hey, flip to the back. There's the development pieces, and there's the. Oops, I guess I got empty pages there. But here's what I did for the cover. I might print the cover in color. It's gonna be a large print on really not great paper, but here's the blue pencil I did, and then of course the inked version, and then one last piece I did. This is the Cali cosplay piece I did a couple months ago, and this is the inked. You can see the blue pencil on there. I sketched a lot of this stuff and then printed it out in blue pencil, which brings me to the next point. This is ready to go. I'm so excited because it looks really good. I just got to design a spine for it, so it's not just Profolio. So this is a really professional thing. You can hold it. It feels really nice. It feels like a binder. It feels like this, but it feels a lot better, and it's a lot better. Some cosplayers I've seen use larger versions of this to hold their studio shots, so they can sell prints at conventions. I think Cali Cosplay had the exact same one in a larger format that she had all her prints in, which makes sense because this is actually a photography portfolio, but they sell in different sizes. 11 by 17 is great for comic artists, and anything else smaller pretty much stays in place. The other reason I did doing this video is because I got some really cool stuff while I was there. I wanted to get the portfolio, and I was like, I really need to get a sharpener. So we got a sharpener. I've had a pencil sharpener for ages, and they had a brass one and an aluminum one. And I said, what's the difference? He goes, well, this is brass and it's aluminum. I said, well, what's the difference? And he says, well, They have the same blade. And I was like, well, get the aluminum one. It was cheaper to get the aluminum cased one. It's kind of tiny. The reason I got the cheaper one is because I'm going to lose this. I don't want to spend $3 on one I'm about to drop down someplace. And the brass one weighed a ton. I'm like, that'll make it easier to find. No, it'll make it easier to fall into cracks and get lost. So I said, no, I'm not doing it. But it's got 2 little finger holes, you can see. So you can hold it and twist your pencil. And it does it perfectly so it doesn't slide around. Well, I got that because I have my Col Erase pencil. I got a blue that I use for doing blue pencil sketches. Actually, blue pencil instead of sketching it in pencil and doing scanning it in, printing it out in blue. But the cool thing was, while I was waiting for them, because they were working with other customers, and that's okay. It's a small kind of, I don't want to say it's a mom and pop store, but it is. It's a really nice store, Suburban Paint. It's really very small. It's locally owned. It's not a chain, and they know their stuff. Everybody in there knows their stuff. Stuff that I heard them say to other customers matches exactly with everything I've ever learned through trial and error or through reading in my 15 to 20 years of art experience from when I was like 12. I've literally been doing art since I was like 12 years old. But with Liquitex acrylic paint, not like, oh, I got Poster paints. I worked with Poster paints and graduated up to acrylics within like a year and a half. My parents were like, are you serious about this? Buy serious materials. They were, I think they were the first ones that gave me for either my birthday or Christmas. They gave me a set of Liquitex acrylic paint because they wanted me to have the best tools. Which so I've been working with like artist grade materials since I was like 12. When most kids were playing Super Mario Brothers, I was figuring out what brushes work best. So when I say I've got 15, 20 years experience, I'm not 40 years old. I'm only 33. But I've been working with serious art materials since I was like 12 or 13. But anyway. While I was waiting for them to work with other customers, I'm always happy to browse Suburban Paint. They got tons of great stuff in it. You can go there 15 times and see 30% of what they have. I'm not even kidding. But they have these. And I've called other art stores and they said they didn't know what they were. But they're called, I don't know if you can see it really well because the reception here is pretty poor. But I also tore it up quite a bit. Non-photo blue pencil. I don't know if this is still photo blue because back in the day, when you had copiers and scanners, you couldn't scan this. If you drew in this, it would show up as it would be like invisible ink. It wouldn't show up when you put it through a copier. I think modern copiers may have circumvented this ability, but they're still called non-photo blue pencils. The convention was you'd sketch in these, you would do any kind of corrections in black. You'd do the actual work in black, and then when you photocopied it, it would be invisible. And it says on this, and I quote, dry and soft sketching pencil not reproduced when scanned or photocopied. I haven't tested it yet. I've tested the pencils, though, and they're a little bit soft for my taste. They're Caran d'Ache. So they're high quality. So the tips do kind of wear down very thin, very, very quickly. But for sketching something on a comic book page without a lot of detail would probably be pretty easy with these. I liked it. It was just very velvety feeling. It wasn't very sharp. The other thing I've been using is trying to find my Col Erase so you guys get a sense. Here we go. Col Erase. It's an erasable pencil. Do not use the erasers that come on these. The erasers on these will discolor your paper. Excuse me. This is the pencil I've been using from Blue Pencil. The casing of it's really dark, but it sketches a really light blue line actually. Like a light cornflower blue. So, and I wore the tip on this. You can see it's kind of really dull, which is why I had to get the pencil sharpener. But this gives you a really hard, thin line. You have to work really hard to get a dark line on this. And these little guys, they'll give you a nice line without pushing really hard. But it's a very, very, very soft pencil. So it doesn't give you very thin lines for very long. The point wears down very quickly. But I'm thinking part of it is that the points on these guys when you get them aren't like razor sharp. They're like dulled down crayon tips. So maybe if I sharpen them, they'll give me better results. I don't know. A friend of, and these come with a white eraser, which is not so bad to erase them out with. I always use my regular white eraser. I'll show you guys. Never, never, never use, by the way, guys. I said this wouldn't be an art video, but it's winding up being one. Never use a pink eraser. Like this one. They are so awful. They will eat your paper before they erase off the mark. Go with this. This is worn down like crazy. white eraser, but you know, you get the idea. Staedtler makes tons of. I mean, I got tons of. I usually have like 3 or 4 in my bag because you go through them like not very quickly, but I usually have like a handful. Here's one. Here's one. Here's one. Good. This guy. The Staedtler Mars Plastic White Eraser, and they're amazing. They will remove most of, unless you make a dark sawing line into the paper, this will remove most of it without damaging the paper, or at least damaging the paper to a minimal degree. I mean, you'd have to scrub this like super hard to make damage on the paper. I don't know why the pink ones are popular. Pink Pearl, throw them away. Don't even use them. But anyway, I'm excited to try these and actually have and see if they really do non-photo blue. I dropped my stuff everywhere. But yeah, the color erase I like a little bit more now because I like the firm line of it. But I never draw really detailed anyway when I do my. I don't know why I'm so worried about it being detailed. Anyway, real quick before I get off this video, trying to show you the other pieces here. Oh, here we go. And I do have a little bit of comparison, but it's not a really good picture. I did 2 sketches of, you know, kitschy kind of sketches of eyes. The top one is the Col. You can't really see it, but the top one's the Col Erase, and the bottom one is the. You can kind of see how one's a little bit lighter and softer. The one on the bottom is the new blue photo blue pencil I got, and the top one is the old Col Erase I had. So you can see it gives you a little bit darker a line, but it also means it's gonna be harder to erase out. Whereas the bottom one, the Caran d'Ache photo blue, non-photo blue, gives you a nice softer line. I guess I'll just have to be really careful with it like you are with pastels. But anyway, here's some progress on Alice in Zombieland page 2. I cannot wait to get this page done. But the big pain was I wanted to do that dresser drawer. Look at that dresser drawer, though, as she falls past. I found an old vintage dresser drawer picture online. So as she falls past, check it out. She's got that really awesomely ornate cabinet chest. And I got that other kind of more utilitarian cabinet. The one that's going to be a pain is going to be doing this top panel because I got more cabinets to do. And as you can see, the perspective is going to be going down to here. And then, yeah, so that's it. Once that's done, I'm going to probably scan it. And I got to put some books on this one here. And then I'm probably going to scan it, go down to Kinko's, well, not Kinko's, but Office Max, say, print this on Bristol, and then ink the whole thing in Bristol, rather than on paper like this. I lightbox, well, actually, I lightboxed and transferred the pencil of this. That's how I got this one, was I did a lightbox. I lightboxed this page and put it on Bristol on this page. I'm not a big fan of lightboxing. I've got a lightbox. I like my lightbox. I use my lightbox. I don't use it lately. Now that I know how to remove blue from a pencil page, I don't really need it. It's helpful to have for tracing, but it's so much easier just to do with pencil on this than to go through Bristol, unless you're using like the art quality, the comic book quality art. Bristol is a lot nicer of a pulp, and you can see right through it easier. It's much more of a smoother surface. But if you try to do regular Bristol on a light board, it'll look like you're looking at the mud. So, yeah. So, big stories are awesome portfolio, new supplies I'm going to try out and keep you guys updated with that. And of course, I'm going to try to figure out what to do. Oh, the insert. I was going to measure the insert. I'm doing the video, I realized the insert tells me what the size is. It says it's 3.8 inches by 17.7. It's going to be not 17.7 because I don't have any piece of paper that's 18 inches long. I've got a piece of paper that's 17. So it's the height of this, and that'll be fine. But yeah, so this is my new portfolio that I'll take to Heroes Con. What kind of advice do I have for someone going to a convention? I don't know. Quickly, story-wise, I met Adam Hughes at Heroes Con, and I pretty much fanboyed on him. I feel so stupid. I literally was like, I'm going to show you my portfolio. I'm going to show you my portfolio. I got there, and I was like, Papa, you're so-and-so. Yeah, I completely fanboyed out on most people. I fanboy out on most people when I first meet them if I really admire what they do. But, yeah, so the only person I didn't fanboy out on was Jonathan Glapion because I didn't see him. I fanboyed before I met him. And then I was like, you're not, the guy at this table wasn't him, and I recognized it wasn't him from his videos. I knew his voice. I was like, you're not Jonathan Glapion. He goes, no, I'm not. I said, I knew you weren't. I didn't recognize your voice. But he was like the only person I met that was like super calm about because I was already waiting for him. It wasn't like there he is, there he is. I see him at the table, you know. But I did that even at the SouthCon convention when I met a couple of people I was looking forward to meet. Um, so yeah, I kind of do that when I meet people. So yeah, I'm hoping this time won't be as bad. Heroes Con this year is gonna be pretty awesome. No Adam Hughes, he's like my favorite artist. And he's not there. He was supposed to go to Australia, but I think he canceled his gigs there because he's got a lot of work to do. Don't I know it? I know that feeling, and I'm not even, doing regular gigs in comic books. But my favorite artists are Jonathan Glapion. I'm sorry, yeah, Jonathan Glapion, yeah, Adam Hughes, and Terry Dodson. Those are my three. Jonathan Glapion for his inking experience, and then Adam Hughes and Terry Dodson for their interiors and their cover art. And neither one of them will be there. I've never met Terry Dodson yet, anyway, but neither one. And Marcio Takara too, but Takara will be there. Yay! He's a pretty good guy. But the other artists going are going to be. I have like a secondary list of people that are like those are the other people that I met after I got to know comics more, and I still love their stuff. And it's like a who's who of every single person I'd want to meet that aren't Adam Hughes, Terry Dodson, or Jonathan Glapion, or Marcio Takara. Like if you take those four away, my other top 10, they're going to be there. Raphael Albuquerque, Joe Quinones, Yannick Paquette, Terry Moore. I want to meet him and pick his brain about art because I don't know. It just seems like he does a lot of things that I would probably do the same way. So yeah, Terry Moore, Joe Quinones, Raphael Albuquerque. Yannick Paquette. I cannot wait to meet him. He did interiors for Batman Incorporated. Didn't care for the storyline. It was too confusing for my taste. But he did the run of Batman Incorporated, like the first 3 or 4 issues, where he did the Catwoman stuff, and it's like all blacks and a couple colors, and it's just amazing. So I love his stuff. He does Swamp Thing now, and I think he's working on a secret Wonder Woman project, maybe. But I love his stuff. So I can't wait to meet those guys. I don't know if I'll show them my portfolio. I don't know who to show my portfolio to. Artists I admire, most of the artists I admire are so busy they can't do portfolio reviews. They'll actually say, not doing portfolio reviews this con because they're so busy doing other stuff. Of course, portfolio reviews sometimes are ego stroking, and they don't really make the artist money. In other words, they want to be polite to you, so they're not going to say, this line's in the wrong place, you did this too heavy. They might, but they're not going to be unkind. And while they're doing that to make you feel awesome about yourself, they're losing the opportunity to sell merchandise, which is kind of why they're really there. And I don't mean to be crass about it, but most comic book artists make a bulk of their income from selling stuff at conventions because they get barely enough money rate-wise to balance out the work. So any profit is made from selling the original art or selling sketchbooks or selling merch of some kind. Sketchbooks, most sketchbooks, or prints, or original art. Like Adam Hughes sells his original art for like $6,000, but after you see his pieces, who would blame him? I mean, that guy's an illustrating genius art-wise. But anyway, I'll keep you guys posted if anything else more exciting happens. I might do another live video of inking because I'm up to Trixie 2 now, but I really, really want to get started on, finish up with my other assignments, which is that web banner. I think I've been talking here for like an hour. That can't be right, though. But anyway, I just figured it'd be, I'll get to the live art again soon once I get some of the more timed, non-secretive projects. And I'm so excited about Heroes Con. I'll probably go for 2 days. And I'm so excited. So I'll get a chance to actually see the seminars, meet the artists, do some portfolio reviews, because I'll have time to say, come back. I can come back. It wasn't like last year where I was only there for Saturday. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll keep you guys posted about more art. If I do any reviews and materials, I'll let you guys know. See you soon.